If you need help from an Oyibo, you can ask generally. If he or she has, they'll help you, then you come in under false pretenses. But most of the time, asking generally doesn't always work, so they resort to scamming and milking the money out of them. But then again, if you keep asking generally, there's one that will find interest in you and help you. That's God's favor, and you might end up generally loving the person. Basically, the people who need money, mainly Middle Easterns and Africans, Oyibo is the Igbo word for white. So they're asking money from white people. They see white people as rich people. That's the stereotype that they see. Sapa affects us all. It really does. We all work hard to make money. We all work hard to make ends meet. And for the ones who don't have jobs, what's typical in Canada and in America is that they beg for money. And in most cases, some they just want drugs or alcohol because they have addictions and money won't help them. If you give them food cards or food or clothes or something like that, that will help them much more than actually giving them cash. But it's up to you if you want to give them money or not. Same thing with if you want to give money to people overseas. You can if you want. With my own experiences with African people, mainly Nigerian and Ghanaian and Kenyan, most of them, they take white chicks people, they wait to take white chicks, like the pictures of white people, mostly women, and it's mostly black males that are doing this, but they take white women's pictures and they pretend that they're falling in love and stuff like that. They're called a love scam. But anyway, if you need money, there's nothing wrong in asking, but you shouldn't be pretending to be someone else who you aren't. I remember this one scammer I met. This was back in 2020. January or February, something like that. Anyway, so basically, he pretended to be this white guy that was like super hot and stuff, like athletic. But anyway, he was all talk. And then finally, with the help of two Nigerians, who I hold close to my heart, they were like telling me like they were convincing me they're telling me how to convince this guy to show him his real self. The guy finally did. And so yeah, I exposed him. He exposed himself. And eventually I just like blocked him everywhere. Warned others about him. He had many false Facebooks. I remember that. He was pretending to be 2 or 3 different white guys. And it's typical for scammers to do that, to have more than one person. I mean, to have more than one person that they're pretending to be. So this one person could be pretending to be like 3 or 4 people. And they're saying that this one person is great, even though they're saying the same stuff about themselves, kind of thing. But anyway, I hope that makes sense. Basically, so okay, I'm just going to give names here. So let's pretend Jack is the person you think you're falling in love with. So Jack has his friend named John, and Billy, and Kevin, and whoever. So John, Billy, and Kevin, also played by the same scammer who plays Jack, says that Jack is this wonderful person. And they're trying to convince you to like be a victim of the scam. That's how scams work. I've been a victim of many scams, so I know. And I know lots of formats too. Because I have met a few scammers out there. And they say that like they don't like scamming because their governments are corrupt. Ghana, Nigeria, India. I understand why they scam. I understand why. It does not make it right. I'm not giving them any excuses. It does not make it right, but I understand. Sapa affects us all. We all have to work hard. We all have to make ends meet, okay? That's basically it. And yeah. Yeah. In a nutshell, there are two forms of scams. There's the basic one. Then there's the one that involves voodoo and witchcraft and stuff like that. Which basically means that they go to witch doctors and stuff, and they do curses and spells and juju and jazz and stuff on the victim to get them to send money, houses, cars, cell phones, computers, anything of value. And yeah, it can be very hard to break. I mean, it's very hard for the victim to break out of it. And there are many kinds of scams out there. The love scam is only one of them. There's a Bitcoin scam. Oh, it uses the meaning of the Bitcoin, I mean. But basically, it is, you send $100 and within 24 hours you get $1,000. So the more you send, the more you get in return. That's a scam. If you're going to invest stuff, make sure it's with legit people. There's nothing wrong in investing in Bitcoin and stocks and bonds and other stuff. But make sure it's a legit person. Make sure it's a legit business. Make sure it's legit, Jare. Okay? You sabi me? Yeah. And there's other scams out there too. I was sucker punched with the Bitcoin scam actually. And also because it is cyber, police and international police cannot get these people. I can tell you that right now. Police can't. So if you are living in China and you get scammed by an Australian, the Australian police can't really find your scammer. Yeah. That's just my 2 cents. But I will probably be talking more about scams and stuff like that. But yeah. I do know a lot of formats. And I do know a lot about scamming and stuff and how toxic it can be. So both the scammer and victim and anyone involved. It's a whole mess. It's wahala. It really is. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you all. But yeah. And I will repeat what this person said. If you need help from an Oyibo, and again, Oyibo is the Igbo word for white, you can ask generally if he or she the white person has money, they'll help you rather than you coming under false pretenses, meaning pretending to be someone else that you aren't. But most of the time, asking generally doesn't always work. And so they resort to scamming and milking the money out of them. I am tired of people asking me for money. I don't tire though. But then again, if you keep asking generally, there's one that found interest in you and help you. That's God's favor, and you might end up generally loving the person. Okay? Okay. God bless you all. And thank you for listening to this.